Welcome to a brand new semester at UMBC. Some of you might be first time students at UMBC, and we're so excited to have you here on campus. So, this is just a quick video to kind of get you set for the semester. A few things that you should do during the first week of college that aren't really things that they'll tell you to do in class, but the things that will help you just get started on the right foot. So the first thing that we recommend that you do before classes actually start is to check Blackboard. Blackboard is our platform online where um, professors share their syllabi, and you'll have a separate square on Blackboard for each class, and they'll have information, they'll have practice exams, they'll have announcements. Everything will go through Blackboard. So you should check it before the first day of classes if possible, or on the first day of classes, because you might actually have homework before the first day. Usually the homework before the first day will just be an introduction, maybe a short syllabus quiz, but those usually happen after the first day of class, or just a survey about your previous experience in the subject matter or something. But it is important to check Blackboard, read the syllabus, and get familiar with everything. So the syllabi will also have the locations of your lectures if you're not sure where those lectures will take place. You can also find them in your schedule, which is available to you through MyOMBC. If you're on campus before the first day, you can check out the route to each classroom and make sure that you know how to find them so that you're not late on the first day. So that sometimes helps people if they're a little anxious about getting to class on time. Another tip for you is to sit at the front of the classroom. Now, the reason that we suggest that you do this is that you're more likely to spend the class with your attention focused on the professor because you're actually in their line of sight. You can also see the board or slideshow better this way, but if you can see the professor and you know they're in that you're in their line of sight, even if they're not really paying attention to you specifically, it can sometimes feel like they are. And this makes you less likely to check your phone and get distracted from the material that is being presented, which is important because you're going to be tested on it. So keep in mind that sometimes the projector, which will have the class slides on it, is up kind of high. So in that case, you're going to want to sit in the best place for you because you don't necessarily want to be craning your neck up to see the presentation. So sit a few rows up so that you can have it at eye level, or eye level with your eyes tilted up a little bit without your neck tilted up. Next tip, make a calendar. So if you don't already have a calendar, it's a great time to start one. So we recommend that if you like to write stuff down physically, you get a physical planner on paper, or you could use Google Calendar or whatever calendar fits in with your devices. So if you have all Apple devices, you can use Apple Calendar. You just want to make sure that all of your devices are able to use the same calendar. So we recommend Google Calendar as a default just because UMBC is a Google campus. So your email is tied into the Google Calendar, and sometimes people will send you events or requests or put things on your Google Calendar through email. So it can be really helpful to use that. For instance, if you're scheduling advising appointments um, anywhere on campus, they will often go into your Google Calendar automatically. So that can really help you just make sure that you don't miss anything. And so if you use this calendar to schedule your classes, your club meetings, and other commitments, this is just really helpful um, for making sure that you can get to the right place at the right time. And one really big tip that we have for you is to give yourself specific times and places on your calendar, like write it down in your calendar for where you're going to get your homework done, because you're way more likely to actually be efficient, maybe get it done within the space that you've actually given yourself to do it. And if you have a time and a place scheduled for the homework, you're so much more likely to actually do it without procrastinating, and your future self will thank you so much. At the same time, don't forget to also schedule breaks for yourself. Actually, putting a break in your calendar for like a study break for half an hour or an hour can be super helpful because you're less likely to get to the point of burnout where you're not retaining any more information while you study, which happens sooner than you think. So both your brain and your body will thank you. Bonus points if you go for a walk in between two study sessions, because the way that your brain works to encode information is more efficient if you are circulating your blood. So, getting up, going for a walk, or going to the gym, if you prefer that, the gym is available to all full time students, which is called the Retriever Activity Center on campus. That can be a really beneficial thing for your brain. So gear up. Don't leave your house, apartment, dorm room, wherever you live for the day until you have double and triple checked your bag for everything you need. Here are some things to make sure that you have. You might not need all of these things, but um, make your own list. And this is just a sort of general list of things that most students bring to campus. Devices. So obviously, bring your phone. If you have a tablet, bring that. If you have a laptop, you might want to bring that. And their chargers. Don't forget chargers if you have a device with a battery that's liable to die quickly. Um, you can charge it between classes usually. There will probably not be outlets for you to charge your device in class unless you get there really early and sit really close to the front. Um, but having the chargers with you can be helpful in case it dies in the middle of the day. Um, Textbooks, if you have any, but most of those are digital these days. So you don't really need to worry about that. They'll be on your devices. If you like to write physically in class, bring a notebook and a writing implement, or maybe you like to write digitally, but you like to do it on your tablet, so you need your writing implement for the tablet, like your digital pencil. Make sure you've got that. Make sure you have snacks. You know, you got to fuel that brain. Make sure you have a water bottle. There are so many places on campus to fill up your water bottle, and especially at the beginning of the semester, it can be really hot, so you need to hydrate. And then make sure, of course, you have your phone, your keys, your wallet, and your student ID. Please bring your student ID with you everywhere. You never know when you're going to need it. Students who live in dorms know that they need their campus ID, but every student needs to be carrying their campus ID. And then anything else you need daily, like medications or inhalers, or just anything that you need to have with you. It could be a variety of things. Next tip, find a study spot on campus. So think about, what you need for that study spot. Do you like a quiet study spot or do you like an ambient noise study spot? Do you like the light to be natural or fluorescent? Do you like it to be warm or cold in the room? So we recommend, taking a little tour of campus in the first week or two, looking for some places that might work for you. So ask other folks if you don't know where to start. Ask the people next to you in class, hey, have you found any good study spots on campus? So think about sights, sounds, even smells, because that can be distracting if there's a really distracting smell in the space. And try out some different places until you find the right one. And if you have no idea where to start, I would recommend starting at the Albino Kuhn Library. There are a lot of places in the library to study. Walk around the library, ask a librarian if you're looking for a spot, if you need directions on how to get there. Next tip, introduce yourself. So when you get to class, turn to the people on either side of you, if they're not already your friends, and introduce yourself because they might be good study buddies. Maybe you do this for the first few classes if you're sitting next to new people every day. The more people you meet, the better. And then after class, not necessarily on the first day, but you could do it on the first day, sometime in the first week or two, go up to the professor and introduce yourself just quickly. You don't need to take 10 minutes of their time telling them your whole life story. Just tell them your name and tell them that you're excited to be here. And this will make you more likely to go to office hours, which is a really, really good way to boost your understanding and retention and get some questions answered, and pay attention in class because you will have a little bit more of a personal relationship with the professor. You know that they know your name, even if they just remember it for 20 seconds. Again, that's going to make you just less likely to get that phone out or browse the internet while you are supposed to be taking notes in class. And then uh, to go along with this theme of introducing yourself, attend Involvement Fest. Involvement Fest is next week, Wednesday, September 3rd, from 12 to 2 in the RAC, which is the Retriever Activity Center. That's the gym. And join some groups and clubs. You will not regret this. You can get on the email list for like 10 clubs and orgs and just, go to a few, see which ones you really enjoy and you think you might make friends with. So these could be cultural clubs, they could be recreational clubs or activity based, they could be based on your major or your future career. So some examples like we have the Pre-Med Society, the STEM PhD Society, Pre-Dental Society, Pre-Pharmacy Society, basically a society or club for almost everything you could possibly want to do after UMBC for a STEM major. And then in terms of like recreational things, we have like a rock climbing club and we have intramural sports. We have crafting clubs and other clubs related to hobbies. And then we have all sorts of cultural clubs like the Persian Students Association, for instance, or pretty much anything you could think of. And if a group doesn't exist on campus, but you wish it did, you can start it. So that's another topic for another time. But ask around if you're interested in starting a group or club. So thanks for watching and have a wonderful first week of school. We're so happy to be back on campus with you, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.